Textbook says the universe is a spiritual system. Its laws are those of intelligence. We approach it through the mind, which enables us to know, to will, and act. Prayer, faith, and belief are closely related mental attitudes. Page 156, faith is an affirmative mental approach to reality. So, faith means that when I want to create, to do, to have, to experience something, I believe, I know I can. I'm certain. I'm convinced. There's no doubt, no fear. The question that comes up for me is why am I convinced? And how is it that I know? What I do know is that faith is a very personal thing. If you didn't come here with it, if you weren't taught it as a kid, like when you were in the sponge stage, before you began to question and figure things out for yourself, if you didn't come here with it, or if you didn't absorb it in the sponge stage, then you have to grow it. You have to increase it for yourself. Faith very often develops through experience, from doing, from being successful, from seeing the evidence, from winning. But what am I having faith in and why? Am I having faith in God, in life, in myself, in someone or something else? God, spirit, the presence, God in me. In order to have faith in God, we have to have a personal relationship. When you sit in meditation or walk along the ocean and have revelations, receive knowledge, clarity, receive information, and feel a powerful peace, or experience synchronicity in your life, you begin to get clear and understand, and it will increase your faith. If you have faith in life and the universe and the law, you've probably had experiences that were affirmative, that were fulfilling, that were successful. To have faith in myself, it's generally because I've taken care of myself. I've honored myself. I show up for myself. I keep my word to myself, and I accomplish the things I set out to do. When I do those things and I'm consistent with it, I have faith in myself. In order to have faith in someone or something else, that person has to have a level of integrity. They have to keep their word. They're kind to us, they're supportive, and we know that we can count on them. If it's a thing, it's similar. Believe it or not, we actually have faith in the seasons because they've come round our entire lives. And we know that in the spring, we're going to have flowers blooming and we're going to have rain falling. And then in the winter, we're going to have snow falling and it's going to be cold. We develop faith, trust, and belief based on our experience and evidence. So this morning, my focus is on what faith is and how to grow and increase our faith. The science of mind is not an intellectual musing for me. If I can't use it or anything else I engage in to improve and enhance my life, it's a waste of time to me. And as always, I have to look to myself, my life, because if it's to be, it's up to me. Am I living the life I want to live? If not, where am I falling short and why? The answer to these questions inform the spiritual work that I can be doing. Now, I can quote the textbook to you all day long, but if you don't have any relatable experience of the oneness, of the law demonstrating for you, impacting your life, creating from the invisible substance based on your belief on your knowing, what will you manifest? I thought it would be good to invite you to remember some examples where you've seen faith at work in your life. I would like to share with you just a couple because these experiences had a profound effect on me and taught me and helped to increase my faith. So, years ago, I was on my way to Jamaica. I believe it might have been the first time going all by myself without my family. So I had peeps there, so it was okay. I knew I would be safe, but everything was planned, done. I spent the night at my girlfriend's house in the city so I'd be closer to the airport. And I went early the day that I was supposed to go. I woke up in the morning and I just felt like I shouldn't go. I had this strong, palpable feeling and I couldn't believe it, but I decided not to go to Jamaica. And instead, I went to visit a colleague in California that I had become friends with. In a meeting on that Friday, I had told her I was going on vacation, and she said to me, "Oh, girl, come to California." I'm like, "No, honey, I'm going to Jamaica. Thank you. Come to California another time." Well, Spirit had a different idea. So I called her up and asked her, could I still come? And she said yes. So I get there and I overheard a phone call that she took. And apparently, in the phone call, she was speaking to a doctor, and the doctor told her that she had cancer and that she had to come in. She was engaged at the time. She had to come in with her fiance, and they would talk and work through a plan. And when she got off the phone, she called her fiance and she told him. She got off the phone with him. And I said to her, I am just so sorry to hear this. To which she said to me with such profound conviction, "Oh, honey, don't worry. God's going to heal me. I'm not worried about this." And I got to tell you, I was stunned. I don't even think I was studying the science of mind then. No, I wasn't. But I was stunned because it looked to me like she meant it, like she believed it. And I watched her in that time that I was there go about her life and do and make plans without any fear. I saw no fear in her. I saw no concern. That trip changed my life. I wasn't supposed to go to Jamaica. I was supposed to go and witness that faith. There was someone else who had an accident, a pretty bad accident, and the doctors told her she would never walk again. And she said, "Oh, yes, I will." And the doctor tried to convince her, be realistic. This is very serious. This is wrong. That's wrong. She was not having it. She was not hearing it. And I watched her and I asked her, no, I asked myself, I never asked her. Was she in denial? Was she deluding herself? I want to tell you that Christine is out of a wheelchair and walking today like nothing ever happened. That's faith. And one more from our own center. When I had not been coming to the center for a long time, when somebody got up and gave a testimony, and I believe what it was is she had also been diagnosed with cancer. And the doctor was telling her what she needed to do. And she said, absolutely not. It's a lie. And sure enough, She's totally and completely fine, has been since. And so I just thought I would share these real stories and real experiences with you, because observing these things and hearing other people's testimony really impact my life. Remember, I said I've always felt like I hadn't had enough faith. Of course, I didn't have the good sense, unfortunately, at the time to question any of these people to find out how they developed this kind of faith. But if you've struggled with something and had it work out, very often we go through things and we don't even think about it. We just do it. So if you struggled something and had it work out, it might be very helpful to you to go back and introspect and identify what it was inside of you that allowed you to do that. But what about fear and doubt? Our experiences are not always peachy keen. Sometimes we don't know and don't have what it takes to get there. We don't always feel connected to spirit. Separation is a big issue for us humans. Fear comes up when we don't feel safe, when we feel threatened in some way. But if we return to our teaching, to our spiritual principles, to the truth, to our spiritual practices, we can reconnect and get clear. Page 156. Someone has said that the entire world is suffering from one big fear, the fear that God will not answer our prayers. But see, in order for God to answer us, first we have to know God. We have to know that there is a power and presence. We have to know that God exists and have some kind of relationship with God. You always hear me recommend developing a personal relationship with God. Textbook, page 156. Let us analyze the fears which possess us and see if this is true. The fear of lack is nothing more than the belief that God does not and will not supply us with whatever we need. The fear of death is the belief that the promises of eternal life may not be true. The fear of loss of health, loss of friends, loss of property, all arise from the belief that God is not all that we claim: omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Please know that a faith challenge, a confrontation with fear, is decision time. It's when we need to get real, to wake up, be conscious, and decide to delve into our teaching and our spiritual practices. Make the personal connection. If you're experiencing any kind of negative emotion, breathe and keep breathing until you return to center, until you return to balance. Take your breath into meditation. One of the things that I do is use music. You've all heard me say that. I go to songs. If you want something to shift you quick, to take you out of the wrong energy, identify music that you can go to that you know is going to move through you and take you to the place you need to be, and know that it will do it every time. I just want to share some lyrics with you very quickly from a song that Kurt Franklin wrote for Tamla Mann. You've heard me talk about them both before. Tamla is an amazing vocalist. And the name of this song is God Provides. God provides. Why do I even worry about my life when you've come to my rescue 1,000 times? Every other voice, it is a lie. God provides. God provides in ways I can't explain and can't deny. The little that I have, God multiplies. Just when I feel He won't show up on time, God provides. He'll come through when the clouds of doubt rain down on you and test everything you thought you knew. Now you'll finally see what God can do for you. God provides. One day I'd like to sing that song for our center. So we have to feed ourselves. We have to feed ourselves the things that grow our faith, that strengthen it. We have to prove it to ourselves. God, everywhere present in a world of oneness, in a world of form. That means outside us and within us. We have to get understanding of these principles in the real, everyday life. And to do that, we need clarity. Page 159, our mind must be steady in its conviction that our life is some part of God and that the Spirit is incarnated in us. If we believe that Spirit incarnated in us can demonstrate, shall we be disturbed at what appears to contradict this? And so, always, 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 we go to spiritual practices. We have to practice faith. We have to test spirit, test our faith, prove it, inspire ourselves. Richard Bach says, remember your miracles. And so I want to offer the suggestion to you that you make a list of your miracles. You make a list of the things that have worked out for you in your life. Have a notebook. If something great happens, write it down. And do some research. Ask other people, your friends, your family. Ask them about their miracles, their demonstrations, their testimony. And ask Spirit to be shown so that you know. I would recommend that you take one thing and work on it until it manifests, until you have clarity, until you're free. Set a demonstration goal. If you're not used to doing this, use a small one at first. Work on it until it manifests and use our spiritual practices. Meditate, visualize, treat on it, get a practitioner. Then when that one manifests, pick another small one. Then something a little bigger. I highly recommend that you walk in God's creation, a park, a forest, along a stream, along the ocean. Watch the squirrels run about in your yard. Stop and listen to the birds. Watch the ones that soar through the air. Smell the earth and the flowers. Listen to snowfall. Do a faith walk. Magnify what touches your mind and heart, what lands in you, what hits home. A faith walk is a quiet walk. It's an inner journey. It's holding the space with God, like meditation. It's a high watch. Faith is personal. When it's in us, when it feels like it's in our bones, we have a knowing. And it holds us firm. It builds and it grows our faith. Page 162. I know in whom I have believed. It takes a fiercely spiritually trained human eye to see God in the midst of destruction. But see and know it we must to co-create beauty, wholeness, to express light and love from within any condition. I invite you to train your mind and your heart to see the presence, to see God, to see beyond conditions to what you dream of for yourself and for our world. Page 157. Spiritual substance is all around us, waiting to be formed. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Let's take this into prayer. And so I know it is from within the quiet that all comes. It's from within the quiet that the power and presence that I call God speaks. Sometimes it speaks so softly, I can't hear it, but I know it. Sometimes it speaks so loudly, I can't miss it. I know that there is a divine creative intelligence. And what I know in my heart is that it is love. I know that it is love and it is everything good and it creates beauty. It creates all of life. It surrounds us with beauty. Beauty is within us. It is the reason that we are able to love. And so, as I speak this word for each one of us here, I affirm that this power and presence is expressing in and through and as each one of us. There can be no other way. I did not create myself. This power and presence beats my heart and breathes my breath, and it provides to me a magical, wonderful experience. It provides to me the opportunity to do more, to be more, to know more, to understand more. It provides me the opportunity to co-create. And I declare and affirm with this word that no matter what the conditions may be, no matter what is going on in the world, the power and presence that I call God provides me, provides each of us with the ways and means to express more of the truth, with the ways and means to know and understand what is right, with the ways and means to experience everything that is magical, that is magnificent, that is good and wonderful. I affirm this and I absolutely know it is the truth. And I affirm with this word that each one of us is divinely guided to grow, to expand, to become more clear on this truth, on this reality, to allow ourselves to be used to express it in the world, in our lives, more fully and more completely. So that what we are expressing and experiencing is love. What we are expressing and experiencing is prosperity and laughter and joy and success and cooperation. We express and experience knowing the truth and radiate it out and do what we can do to assist, to uplift, to create, to make this world more like the world that God created it to be. And so I simply affirm that with an open heart and an open mind, there is absolutely nothing that can interfere with the God spark expanding and growing, with the God spark developing and creating and expressing. And so I affirm this for each one, knowing that within me, I have what it takes to contribute to creating the world that I choose to live in, to creating a world that works for everyone, to creating a world where there is love and joy and peace and dignity and respect, to creating a world that is expressing God. And so I simply release this word into the law, knowing that it is the truth and it is God that makes it so. Please close with me. And so it is.